week we've did the 3R challenge, which is release, replace, and repeat. Tonight, we're going to just briefly talk about repeating. But first, let me just go back just a little. That on Monday night, we talked about releasing the pain, releasing unforgiveness. If it's releasing, hey, Terry, how are you? How are you? If it's releasing anything at all, really, that you feel that you need to release, that's what we discussed on Friday night. And then on Wednesday, I'm sorry, on Monday evening. And then on Wednesday, we discuss replacing it, because anything that you release, you have to replace it. So that's the second R. You have to replace whatever you release, right? And when you replace it with something good, right? You replace it with something possible. So for me, I talked about unforgiveness, releasing the pain and the hurt that I experienced that brought me to really not forgiven, struggling with forgiveness. So one of the things that I worked on years ago was unforgiveness. So I released unforgiveness and then I replaced it with forgiveness. But there were steps and there were different things that I did to replace it. Okay. So, or like an easy one is if you had to release, let's say you're watching what you eat, and you decided that you've got some unhealthy habits. And so you release something. The one thing you could release is drinking soda, right? I did that about 10 plus years ago. I released soda. And what did I replace soda with? I replaced it with drinking more water. I replaced it with drinking, I drink a lot of Perrier or Pellegrino, which is the sparkling water. So especially even now, especially if I just, want something fizzy, because I really used to like the fizz in sodas. And so I like drinking the sparkling water, which is, by the way, very, very good for you. So I replaced it with that. So tonight, just briefly, we're going to talk about repeating, right? Because what we're really trying to do here is really set some positive forward moving action, or let's say positive forward moving habits, because the habits that you have today, right, the habits that you have today, right, will, what's the word I'm looking for, will bring you the results in the future, right? So if you have an unhealthy habit, then and you're and you haven't changed that unhealthy habit, whatever that unhealthy habit may be, you want to look at what is that unhealthy habit, what results is that going to bring you in the future? And if you have healthy habits, what results will that bring you in the future, right? So whenever we're speaking about now replacing, right, we want to replace it with something that's good. So what we're doing is forming a good habit, right? A good habit. And what we're doing with forming a good habit, right, means that as for today, we have to repeat it. A habit is something that's repeated. You repeat your habit, but it has to be a good habit to bring you the positive, the forward moving results that you want in your future. So tonight, I want you to think about now that you've released and now that you've replaced, what is the habit that you can continue to form? What can you keep repeating to ensure that you continue in this process, right? So for example, many times we think that something is just a one and done. We have created unhealthy behaviors, unhealthy habits, or whatever habit you have that you just don't like, and you release and then you began to replace it. We think, okay, well, I just need to do it one time or two times, and that's it. Or if it doesn't resolve or change within the one or two times, then we quit, we give up, because we just become overwhelmed, right? And so in the third R, which is repeat, what I would like to talk to you about and just really want you to think about is what is it that you need to repeat in that good habit that's going to bring you the results that you want in the future? And I just want you to think about one small habit that you can continue to repeat. So you've released, you've replaced. What is that one thing now with your replacement that you could just keep repeating? right? And it doesn't have to be something great, because the one thing I don't want you to become is overwhelmed. Because when we become overwhelmed with something, when we've set up these goals that we really can't meet, then we become overwhelmed, and then we stop, and it becomes the obstacles, and we don't move forward. So I want you to think about the one thing that you can repeat and keep doing it over and over again. Repetition is good. Repetition is how we learn. And repetition, right? The repeating all of the time really begins, what we're doing is training our brain, our subconscious brain, to replace now those negative things that's been embedded for years and years and decades, right? Now we're going to keep repeating it. We're going to keep repeating it so our brains can learn this is what's really going to happen now. So for example, I don't, in my weight loss journey, about what I said earlier, about 10 years ago, I think it's 10 plus years, when I stopped drinking sodas, right? And so now I don't desire a soda, right? Because I kept repeating it with good habits. And the good habit I kept repeating it with was drinking salsa water. Every time I felt I needed a soda, I drink salsa water. Now I don't, I can't drink sodas. They're too sweet. They're not, and I don't want those for me, right? It's unhealthy. And so I drink salsa water, and I drink, regular water. And so those are the things that I did. And so I just kept repeating to where now it's just something that I do. So what I started years ago brought me results right now. And as I continue, will continue to bring me even more the results I want in the future. My habit today, whatever habit I am forming, I'm doing today, will bring me the results for tomorrow. So that's what you want to think about. So as you're repeating, hey, Delcy, as you're repeating now, what is it that you're repeating in your life? Repetition over and over and over again, right? Because your repetition now, right, is now what you're doing is training your brain. You're training your subconscious that this is what it is. And so you will continue to do it. Right. So remember, it's repetition. It's not one and done. It's over and over and over again. So I want to challenge you tonight to post a video. And this is what I want to say about that. Right. So in our private Facebook group, if you haven't posted at all, if you haven't did any of the challenges homework, then don't feel bad. It's not too late. You can go back and do it. I want to challenge you to post a video. But if you don't feel comfortable as yet doing a video, because I get that, I was there, I know about that very well, then what I want you to do is write it down. Write down what you have released, what you have replaced it with, and then what is it that you're going to repeat on a daily basis, making needle point move, repeating it. And let's even say that one day you may have missed it. That's okay. Just pick it up again. Don't say, oh, no, no, pick it up again and keep repeating it. So I want you to write it down, and then you can take a picture and you can post it, or you could just go ahead and write it in the Facebook group. But doing this is really how, when you put it out there and you say, this is what I'm going to do, you're not only holding yourself accountable, but then you allow others to grow along with you. Because in this walk, in the journey that we're in, I just want you to know that you're not alone. None of us are alone. And some of you, some of us, let me put, could have experienced one thing, and then someone else could say, oh yeah, that's me too. And so then we become inspiration for each other. So I want to encourage you that if you have not did your challenge, your 3R challenge in the Facebook group, then do it. Someone says, I'm not sure who it is. It just says Facebook user says, my bad habit is eating chocolate candy, particularly every night before I go to sleep. Great. That's wonderful. I love it. I love it. So is that a habit that you want to change? Because if that habit is what results are you looking for the future? So is that a habit that you want to release? And then if that's a habit that you want to release, eating chocolate, right, every night before you go to bed, then what is the good habit you want to replace it with, right? And then how will you repeat this all the time? And that could just be as simple as eating cantaloupe. So I'm very much so, I love this because I love to snack in the night too before I go to bed. I used to. I don't do it as much. I'm not saying that I don't do it, because I still do it sometimes. But what I do now is that I've replaced it with healthy snacks. So I may eat an orange, or I may eat an apple or half of an apple, and nuts. I love nuts, and there's certain nuts I'll eat. And then what I've done is I've limited how much I eat, right? And I don't do it every night anymore. I used to eat late every night before I go to bed. I had to have a snack every night. And so it's not me anymore. But what I had to do was continue to work on it. And so I kept repeating some things. And that, of course, takes a level of discipline, right? But I had to begin to think about, what are the results I want in the future? Because my habits today will give me my future results, right? So I began to think about, what results do I want in my future? And so the habits I do today will give me the results for tomorrow, let's say. And so I did it one day at a time. You know what I mean? One day. And yeah, sometimes it may be, oh, I shouldn't have eaten this snack. Okay, I'm going to make sure that I don't eat it tomorrow. And so I had different measures in place for myself, right? To where I can stop the habits that I did not want. I can I can release it, I can replace it, and then what is it exactly I'm going to repeat? So in your 3R, I want you to post, what are you going to repeat? What is it that you're just going to do? And give yourself some grace and ease, but let's be disciplined. Start with small discipline and repeating that habit, right? And so they say it takes 21 days to form a habit. So I want to encourage you to do it 21 days, to repeat this. And then after that, continue to do it. So again, go back into the Facebook group. If you haven't done your 3Rs, it's not too late. Go ahead and do it. And then one last thing, really, really quick. If you guys have any comments, anything you want to share, please go ahead and let me know if you have any questions. But one other thing is, I'm so super excited because on Tuesday, June 27th, I will be hosting a masterclass on forgiveness, 3 keys to forgiveness and letting go. And so as we've been doing the 3R challenge, and as I have been connecting with so many people, forgiveness is always an area to where many of us struggle with. And I feel I can say that very clearly because I know that was an area of struggle for me, very much so. And from the pain that I encountered, and from the hurt from people, and just so many different things, that forgiveness was hard, and thank you. She says, yes, I will try to eat healthy snacks instead. Yeah, just one thing, just one, think about what your one healthy snack, and then do it. Replace it. So good stuff, good stuff. So forgiveness was something I really struggled with. And so tonight, what I'd like to just tell you about really quickly, I'm going to post it, and it is in the Facebook group, right? In the Festa della Donna Facebook group. I think it's also on my personal page. It's on my YouTube channel as well, to where you can register. It's a totally free masterclass going over the 3 keys to forgiveness and letting go. And I have to tell you, I feel like if I could really teach this class, why? Because this was an area of struggle for me. It was a challenge for me, right? But there were steps that I took. There were things that I did to where it's no longer a challenge for me. Forgiveness is something I do. And guys, listen, forgiveness is never for the other person. Forgiveness is also for you. So it's for you, or it's for me. For you, it's not for the other person. Y'all get it? Yeah, you get it. So I want to encourage you to register. It's totally and completely free. It's this June coming up. I'm sorry. We are in June. It's this Tuesday coming up on the 22nd. In the Facebook group, the times are listed. It is in the evening. And so come and join me. It's going to be on Zoom, so it'll be private, because I only want people there who really want to be there. Because the one thing I realize, y'all, that I am not for everyone. I can't help everyone, but I can help someone. I can help someone. And I just feel that as a woman, that listen, since I have worked out some things, and since forgiveness is just a natural part of my life, that I am just open up and ready, to help change the world. We've got so many people out there, men and women. So this forgiveness class isn't just open for women. Men, if you feel comfortable coming in, come on in. But forgiveness is key to our success, to our health, to our joy, to our peace, to our happiness, to what we want to do in the world. If we're saying, I know that I'm called to go out there and influence the world, influence my community, change the world. That's yes, but you got to be able to forgive. And sometimes forgiveness comes as where I just need to forgive myself. And so on Tuesday, we're going to be talking about that. And I'm just so excited to share the keys, the things that I did to move forward in forgiveness, right? And to releasing and just letting go of the pain, So I hope that you will join me. I invite you to. I'm excited to see you there. Thank you so much for joining me and giving me a few minutes on your Friday night. I'm going to sign off, go spend some time with my hubby, my family. And guess what, guys? Don't forget, in the Facebook group, do your 3 R's. It's not too late. The challenge is, it's not too late to say, oh, I'm too late for the challenge. No, do it, do it. Let's walk this walk with you. Let's be accountable to each other. Take care. God bless. Bye bye.